And we are live. Welcome to the Joe and BDD show live. Cheers to you, friends. I'm drinking out of my cup of tears. They're crying right now because Jack Smith schooled their sorry asses on Capitol Hill today, and hero Michael Fanone absolutely said what needed to be said to Troy Nels, who is a piece of shit.
That
Hello,
is what he said.
Brooklyn. I'm
That,
Joe
that,
Carducci. Yeah, I'm joined by my friend Majid Patel in Brooklyn, Dad Defiant. Hello, Brooklyn. Let's start there. Let's start with Jack Smith today on Capitol Hill. He wanted to testify publicly. They tried to keep it behind closed doors. Michael Fanone had some words for Troy Nels, who blamed the Capitol Police for the attack. Yeah, what are your thoughts and how are you doing?
you know what really irritates the crap out of me? You know what? I'll tell you, it's the fact that not one of those Republicans in that room thanked any of the 4 U.S. Capitol Police officers for saving their sorry ass lives. Not one. Not one. They were there since 10 o'clock this morning, and not one of them bothered. And then they had this guy, this right-wing influencer, provocateur, starting crap with Michael Fanone. Like, I don't know if you saw that. That was during a break. And come on, everybody, they should approve congratulatory or thank you plaques to these officers. They should approve like bonus or high salary for life or whatever. These guys deserve it all. And it was one funny point that Jasmine Crockett had brought up during the thing where she spoke to one of Jim Jordan's fellow Republicans and said he had never seen Jordan so terrified in his life as he was on January 6th. And they're steady trying to make excuses for the inexcusable crime that Donald Trump committed by inciting that insurrection.
Yeah, I mean, those Capitol Police officers defended their lives that day to great personal, physical, emotional harm. Michael Fanone had a heart attack. Ganell still carries the physical scars that have made it difficult for him to pursue other work, and they're not giving them their pensions. Our good friend Harry Dunn is still traumatized, and they stand up every day and they embody, exactly what they were fighting for, which is, this isn't about politics. They didn't care whether or not you were Troy Nels behind that door.
That's right.
Or Jason Crow. Their job was to protect the lawmakers and other staff members in that building. And it's reprehensible that the party that says they back the blue, right? They're the ones who back the blue. That's a bunch of bullshit, as we know. So we have a clip. I think we're going to go with the clip of Sam has the clip of Fanone because Troy Nels is blaming the Capitol Police for not being prepared as they were being beaten with their own shields. They were being. Oh, he doesn't have that one. Okay, Sam, which we have a clip
it's about
of
proof.
Jack Smith. Okay, yeah.
Reasonable doubt.
Yeah, we're going to go with this clip first.
For example, this Trump propaganda site claims that the 2020 election was, quote, stolen. Mr. Smith, did your investigation uncover evidence sufficient to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump knew that his claim that the election was stolen was false?
Yes, it did.
And did your investigation uncover evidence sufficient to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump publicly claimed that the 2020 election was stolen from him, while he privately acknowledged that he had lost the election?
Yes, we cited instances of that during in our case.
But yet here.
There it is.
Yep. There it is.
I would have liked to see, because I watched this whole thing, the whole thing, and I would have liked to see Democrats smartly use their time, their time slots a little better, because it's tough. You only had 5 minutes. But I wanted to. Republicans were doing everything they could to keep facts out of the conversation,
Yeah.
and I would have liked to see them, coax some more of the facts out of like what he just said, for instance, that Donald Trump had privately admitted that he lost the election, because that is one of the key pillars of Jack Smith's indictment against Donald Trump for January 6th. And so if we had seen more stuff than like that, it would have counteracted the theatrics coming out of the Republicans. And by the way, what a cool cucumber Jack Smith is.
He really is. I mean, and he withstood personal attacks on his ability to prosecute cases, etc. I mean, they were trying to smear him and paint him as someone who is not good at his job because the facts are not on their side. Can we just sidebar on how utterly reprehensible it is yet again that all of the people, most of the people on that dais today were protected. I mean, there's a viral photo of Troy Nels at the door to the House chamber where the glass is broken in. And he looks scared out of his mind, but he is bracing for an attack that he will also tell you in the next breath was peaceful and patriotic and the fault of the Capitol police officers. They were also saying that it was Nancy Pelosi's fault for not calling in the National Guard, which is bullshit. It's the president of the United States who does that, as we've seen, because he just deployed them all over this country, including on Washington D.C. streets.
To collect garbage and to do landscaping.
Yeah. So because he wanted, and I quote, but he wanted to be able to walk down the middle of the street to go to a restaurant with his lover. First of all, tell me you've never lived one moment in a real human being's shoes without telling me. First, you're using the word lover, which I'm pretty sure retired when Three's Company went off the air. But secondly, you know what I love more than anything, Brooklyn? I go to New York City and I get to walk right down the middle of the street to go get dinner. That's safety right there. Come on, man.
It's garbage.
Break. Yeah. But then again, this is a motherfucker who doesn't exactly have much use for lucid facts. We just saw him yesterday in front of the world at Davos, which is so embarrassing. It's just a parade of embarrassing. He's confusing Greenland, which is a whole nother conversation part of this, with Iceland, referred to Greenland as Iceland in front of all of us who have eyes and ears, referred to Greenland as Iceland over and over and over again. Sam, can you play that clip?
That they'd be there for us. They're not there for us on Iceland, that I can tell you. I mean, our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland. So Iceland's already cost us a lot of money. But that dip is peanuts compared to what it's gone up.
Yeah, that's the stable genius there, mixing his verbs and nouns, and it's understandable. He is, after all, getting very old, like very, very old. I'm sure you saw the picture of his bruised hand today. It might have something to do with pedophiliitis or something. I don't know. It's awful. It looks disgusting. I would I wouldn't want to shake his hand, but he claims that hundreds of people, that's why he gets those bruises, because he's got hundreds of people shaking his hand. He's got something seriously wrong with him. Where the hell is Jake Tapper when you need somebody to call attention to an ailing president?
Let's look at the hand, okay? Let's look at the hand. Okay, it looks like he had Greenland tattooed yesterday on his hand. It looks like he has grayscale, okay? This is not good. This is his left hand, friends. So this ties together the fact
nobody shakes the left hand. Nobody.
But I'm just saying, but here's the gaslight. Because yesterday when he said Iceland 4 times and not Greenland, Carolyn Levitt, who honestly, the way that they have become one worse than the next, starting with Sean Spicer. I mean, Sarah Sanders looks like a Boy Scout compared to Carolyn Levitt. Carolyn Levitt, we all heard it. He said Iceland. She said, no, he didn't. He said Greenland was an ice land. It's like George Santos when he said he didn't say he was Jewish. He said he was Jew-ish. Right. So it's Iceland. And what are they saying about Trump's hand? And no, this is not a nursery rhyme and or Dr. Seuss. They are saying that the bruises on his left hand that look like that motherfucker's dying, he hit it on a table while signing something into law or signing some legislation, or probably the peace board, which we're going to get into. That, come on.
I do not like that hand, Sam. I am. I will not touch it with a can. I will not touch it with a ham.
I will
Get
not
that hand out of here.
I will not touch that grayscale hand. I am.
Nasty.
I mean,
nasty.
thank you. Yeah, that sound effect was perfect. But this is the thing. This is the thing. They talked about Joe Biden. Jake Tapper told us that Joe Biden would be in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
That they were hiding the fact that Joe Biden should be in a wheelchair. Joe Biden's living large with cancer right now. He's going everywhere. He's shaking hands, not bruising.
Getting applause too.
Yes, and deservedly. But Donald Trump looks like he's being embalmed actively from the inside out as we speak, and he is increasingly looking like an Oompa Loompa on a walk of shame at 7 a.m. with yesterday's makeup on. Like they tell you, blend. Like this hand is the morgue, and this face is the corpse in the coffin. It's bad. It's so bad.
The amount of times that he falls asleep, that he confuses one person with another person, that he confuses Greenland with Iceland. They're two very different places and two very different countries. The amount of times that we're not sure if he's lying when he says, or just confused, or doesn't know math when he says he's going to reduce pharmaceutical drug prices by 1,000% or 5,000%. That's ridiculous. All of these things are tied to his cognitive, which, by the way, if you are still claiming that you won the 2020 election when you clearly did not, and you're bragging about it to a room full of world leaders who all know better, if you're still bragging that you won, that you aced a test that is meant to tell if you have dementia, there's something wrong. There's something clearly wrong.
I cannot believe, I mean, yes, I can, because we're all living on the inside of this perpetual hangry, dirty diaper toddler's tantrum. But I can't believe that the material has not changed since the first season of this dumpster fire. He was also doing the who could have ever guessed that we'd have a pandemic. And it's like, who could have? Barack Obama and his entire administration, who put in place a pandemic prevention office that you gutted. That's who could have guessed. That's like, it's absolutely insane. And this is another thing. Like, he talks about how we need Greenland for our national security. Everyone, to a person, has said that he has made our country so much less safe. Everything from misusing our troops and wearing down their readiness, to using a huge chunk of our Navy, deploying them into the Caribbean, to using our National Guard on our streets to, clean graffiti and pick up garbage, to gutting the NSA, to using our JAG officers for his personal retribution tour, to what they're doing across the world in terms of creating new ISIS and new Hezbollah and new Al-Qaeda everywhere, because we are decimating, whole generations of people, to what he's doing on our own streets. We are increasingly less safe. So they can say that they're protecting our borders, but they're creating a tinderbox to us leaving USAID and all of those people who've been abandoned and have died. We are far less safe. And all of these, it's a gaslighting, but it's just like the world is looking at us now. And it is, I feel like, very different now, because he used to be just a laughingstock, and now they're like, he's a laughingstock, but he's also our enemy.
Yeah. And it's sad when I look on Twitter and I see a video. I'm scrolling and I find a video where the national anthem is being played in like England or in Australia, and people boo that. And normally my normal reaction should be outrage. I'm an American. I love America, right? I love I love the potential. Excuse me. Let me revise that. I love the potential that America has to be a great place. I don't love what Donald Trump has done to it. I don't love the energy that he has. I don't love what he's done to our image around the world, so that like people are booing us for crying out loud. So now when I see that booing, I'm like, fuck yeah, you know what? That's we deserve that. We absolutely deserve that. So why am I happy with our national anthem being booed? It's because I don't like the person in charge, what he has done to it. I don't like the chaos that he has caused, and he's just using the chaos as a cover for or a distraction from the Epstein files, which he desperately wants to get away from. And by the way, he's over a month overdue in submitting what, millions of Epstein files.
He's only produced, they think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1% of them,
Yeah.
and it's 34 days since the deadline that he is congressionally legally binded to release. And that's a question that I think should be asked every single day. I've so many problems with where I feel like legacy media is not meeting this moment. Not asking about his health every minute of the day is one of them, because they're not getting answers. I'm sorry, but he hit a table and or he shakes too many hands. I want to say this real fast about the national anthem. I would like the rest of the world to know that we do not want this. This does not represent us. He does not represent us. The promise of America is antithetical to everything that he embodies. I don't understand how anybody in this country could have returned this creature to the office he violently tried to steal. He's a destroyer of all things, including the United States, our institutions, and democracy itself. So when I hear the national anthem and I see our flag, I want to recapture both that he's co-opted, because that breaks my heart, because I know that he is the worst of us, not the best of us. But some of the things that he said at Davos were not surprising, but also some of the things that happened. Sam's got a clip, I think, Brooklyn, you sent him, of him saying, sometimes you need a dictator.
Oh my
You saw
God.
this clip.
Yeah.
Good speech. We got great reviews. I can't believe it. We got good reviews in that speech. Usually they say he's a horrible dictator type person. I'm a dictator. But sometimes you need a dictator.
Alex, let's go with things a dictator says for 1,000. Yeah, I mean they criticize us. The right criticized us for our No King's Day marches. You're saying that he's a king and he's a dictator. Yeah, that is exactly what he doesn't like oversight. He doesn't like being criticized or checked. He wields his power like a petulant 3-year-old. And he looks to silence his enemies and his critics through intimidation and strong arm tactics. If it looks like a dictator and acts like a dictator, guess what? It's a dictator.
Yeah. And enriching himself and his friends and his spawn all at the same time, while sending his agriculture secretary out there to tell us how many thousands of tests they've run on our tax dime, by the way, to make sure that they have found the perfect $3 meal. The perfect $3 meal is a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, a single tortilla, and one other thing.
Yeah.
And Brooke Rollins has been running thousands of tests so that we can stretch $15 to feed ourselves sensibly. But while Donald Trump, we know this at least, enriched himself $1.4 billion since
I
the
think
start.
it's more.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what's going on with all that Venezuelan oil? Because it went into Qatari accounts where his friends' companies were involved in the sale. Look at what they friggin' Slenderman eunuch Jared Kushner goes out there. Jared can't get a security clearance. Beard for Ivanka Kushner. The guy literally gives me the chills. He goes out there and he's got a plan for New Gaza and New Rafah, which he's also got a $2 billion Saudi paycheck sitting in his bank account that nobody knows why exactly. And yet they're going to pave over Gaza and displace the Palestinians so that they can turn it into Mar-a-Lago or Long Branch, New Jersey. And it's just, this is so dictatory, dystopian. If it looks like a dictator and it walks like a dictator and it talks like a dictator, it's a dictator, and he says it out loud all the time.
Can we talk a little bit about that Board of Peace thing that he's proposed? So I'm sure our audience knows, and if you guys don't, there's this thing, the Board of Peace, that he's come up with, which I guess he imagines that it would replace the UN, because God knows that that Vladimir Putin, his boss, isn't terribly fond of the UN, nor is he fond of NATO. And if he were to continue going down that street with the Greenland talk, NATO might have been dissolved. But the Board of Peace is something that he is charging people, countries, $1 billion to become a member of. Nobody knows what's going to happen to those $1 billion, which I guess to a country, $1 billion is nothing. It's nothing to talk about. But to him, if he has free reign of control of that money, I guess that's just in his pocket now, right? And they're supposed to be talking about initially discussing how they're going to rebuild, correct me if I'm wrong, rebuild Gaza after it's been completely obliterated by Israel. I don't know if they discussed any other initiatives or goals for this thing.
Not explicitly, but he's done that dangle test balloon carrot thing where he's talked about other South American countries, and other people in the regime have talked about other South American countries. So I wouldn't sleep on that. But if you remember going back in time to, I don't even know if he was in office yet, he posted that bizarre AI video of what the future of Gaza would look like. And it was weird because it had like bearded men, bearded women in like belly dancer things. You remember? And everybody's like, there's bearded women in this thing. But it was like his vision of the Gaza Strip, which looked like, Dubai meets Las Vegas meets Atlantic City meets Mar-a-Lago. It was bizarre. But that is always, he always says the quiet part out loud, and he's always admitting everything because he has no impulse control. But that's the thing. And the thing is, it's such blatant grift because they're going to redevelop this place that has been decimated by genocide, and they're going to be the ones profiting, and they're going to include the people in the profit that they want to include in the profit. And I just want to read some of the names of who's on this, and it's like the board of bad guys and bullies. It's you called it a mob. What do you call it? A mafia racket?
Oh, it's the pay to play global mafia to slice up Gaza is my opinion. Yeah.
So it's Putin, Lukashenko, MBS, El Sisi, Orban, Erdogan, Zayed, and it goes on. The president of Kazakhstan, the emir of Qatar, the president of Uzbekistan, and the president of the UAE. Like, guys.
Not one European. Well, I guess that the Lukashenko,
Hungary. Yeah,
Orban,
and Orban,
and Erdogan, yeah.
But it's just like a who's who of bad guys. We are the Axis now. We're
the new axis of evil.
God, honestly,
God help us.
The problem is that like it's so corrupt. But this is who he's trying to align the United States with. And I will say that one of the things that came out of Davos was that Europe, they collectively stood up and said, fuck off. They literally said, fuck off. I don't know who that guy was. I think he was from Denmark, but he literally said, Donald Trump, fuck off. But they weren't balking here. And he really went in there thinking they're going to capitulate. They're going to obey in advance. They're going to give me what I want. And they were like, fuck off. So he left there with the same exact structure, basically, of the agreement we've always had with Greenland. And by the way, Greenland has long said, we would welcome more partnerships. We would love more of a military presence. We would love to partner with the United States and our European allies more. So he left there with creating chaos, threatening war, because he didn't get a Nobel Peace Prize he's never going to get. And he walked out of there with absolutely nothing, claiming victory. This is what he does.
How bizarre is it that he wrote I can't even get over. He wrote a letter to Norway saying that because, like, he started it off by saying, because you've decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize, I am no longer committed to peace. Like, what?
First of all, he threatened Norway. Wait, sorry. Right. He threatened Norway and over a peace prize that they don't actually determine. And
Yeah.
if since they didn't give it to him, he was going to invade Greenland, which belongs to Denmark.
Yeah. Yeah, excuse me. You just interrupted my plans from planning an invasion on Greenland and planning on bombing Iran as I'm complaining about not getting the Nobel Peace Prize. Make it make sense.
And let's not forget, what was it? I mean, 100 years ago, because we're 700 years into the month of January.
Good
But
Lord.
Machado just gave him her Nobel Peace Prize, which you can't do, but it doesn't matter. It's if Ewan McGregor gave me his marriage certificate, I would not be Ewan McGregor's wife. Okay, Tom Brady could give me all of his Super Bowl rings, and it does not mean that I won a Super Bowl. You don't get a peace prize, a Nobel Peace Prize, when it was given to somebody else. Like, he already has the shiny. Gollum got the ring, okay? But it's not enough for him, right? It's just nothing says peace prize like threatening war because you didn't get it. Like, it's just, this is where we are now. It's pure and total insanity. But I mean, today has been one of those days where it's like it's coming at us in every possible direction that sometimes you're like, oh my God, I feel like I can't keep up.
Yeah, I think, but the Nobel Prize from Machado is funny as hell to me. I think that's going to be the gift that keeps on giving, because it's essentially a participation trophy. And I thought after he learned that it's not transferable, that he would have been like, well, it was nice, it's a nice gesture, thank you, but no thanks. It's easy to you almost get credit to be magnanimous by saying thank you so much for the kind gesture, but you certainly you won this award, you earned it, so maybe next year is my year. He's still got 3 more years, but no, he took it, and
It's like,
that is pathetic.
did you see the SNL weekend update where it's like, so when you go to somebody's house and you're like, help yourself to anything in the kitchen, and you fuck the guy's wife? You know what I mean?
Excuse me. Oh my God.
But like, and that was me paraphrasing, but like the memes wrote themselves. Like, Sam put this one up, but there were thousands of these, and this one's one of my favorites. There's one of Milli Vanilli giving him their Grammy. There's one of Susan Lucci giving him her Emmy. I mean,
yeah,
the Scarecrow giving him the brain. Like, I mean,
that's a good one.
sometimes you absolutely have to laugh because
I
it's
love the
just,
internet.
I love the internet is unrivaled, and Twitter is look, you and I are Twitter creatures, and it's still down and dirty. Yeah. Up next, we're getting Scotland, Neverland, Wakanda. Yeah, the Death Star, Noah's Ark, and play. Yes, thank you for. I mean, it's like, it's the thing about it is it's crazy, and it seems like it's insane, but we are all trapped on the inside of this insanity.
Yeah. So half the time it feels like we're on a really scary roller coaster ride, and you're looking ahead and you can see the track like completely broken, and you're like, holy cow. And the other half of the time it's like a ridiculous sitcom. It's like, I feel like I've seen this before. It's way worse because there's no guardrails this time. All the people that are around him are lightweight sycophants that none of them has the kind of gravitas that you would need to push back on his worst impulses. I will say this, my plan going forward for 2026 is to, like, how I'm fighting back is affordability, healthcare, the Epstein files, and Weird, right? Weird, because Weird was so damn effective in 2024, and we were on it for like a month, and they were just like, nah, I don't want to anymore. So we absolutely should get back to that, because Weird, for some reason, as simple as Weird was, man, it was as effective as a wooden stake on a vampire.
Yeah. They didn't know how to handle it. They were like, "What do they mean I'm weird? What do you mean I'm weird?" And then when you have them on the defense, when you have them trying to flip the script, that's when you score points, and that's what you need to do. And I'll honestly say it's very fucking weird that they all call him daddy. It's weird. Like, I want to call Jesse Waters out for calling him daddy. That's some weird shit. They are weird, and we should get back to calling them weird. And he said affordability is a Democratic hoax, just like he said about COVID. And I absolutely believe that you got to remind people of what they're feeling. We know how much it costs to go to the grocery store. We all know. We know how much everything's costing. And even if he uses gas prices as this like kabuki theater of like, look, gas prices are lower. That's one thing. That's one metric. Everything else, we're being told to live with less. We're being told to live with less food. We're being told to live with less pencils and dolls. And Dr. Oz is out there saying you should work longer. Why? Not for your sake, for our country's sake, for the GDP. He's not even pretending that it's for your own welfare. It's for Big Brother. It's for the state, which I don't know about anybody else, but that doesn't sound like a free country to me. Like, I'm supposed to work harder, longer for less so that you can build a ballroom. I don't think so. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you on that. And I think we should definitely bring Weird back. Fuck them. They are weird.
Yeah. And, they hit Joe Biden with that whole thing about, oh, you can't tell people how they're supposed to feel about the economy. And you know what? I agree. I agreed with that when they were saying it. If certain people aren't feeling that the economy is getting better, and it really is not. It's not. You can't put gasoline in a pot and cook it for your kids. You can't do that, right? You still got to buy beef. And if you're a beef eater, and beef is crazy expensive right now, along with a whole list of grocery items, your electric bill is not getting cheaper. It's getting more expensive, and it's probably going to continue to get more expensive as AI continues to extend its tentacles throughout our economy. That's a very, very big deal. And water, for some reason. Water apparently is a very big deal as it relates to AI.
Yeah, because it uses a lot. Yeah. Well, absolutely. And again, you cannot make people feel something they're not feeling in these ACA subsidies too. Like, I mean, people's healthcare premiums have made it impossible for them to choose to have healthcare coverage now. And that solely belongs to Republicans. So we're going to keep that pressure up and keep reminding people who owns all this shit. They have a trifecta. They have the Oval, they have the Senate, they have the House. They are not interested in helping the American people. And they are voting against measures to get the Epstein files out now actively. So we need to talk about that.
Right now?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there was a vote yesterday. I got somebody in the chat might know better than me. So I was a little offline yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? But they voted on something related to the Epstein files, and I think maybe it was Pam Bondi. It could have been something to do with that. But they are not advancing their own legislation that has already been signed into law.
JD Vance said the craziest thing today. He's like, he said something to the effect of, "Hey, look, if we're trying to find pedophiles, if you know where they are, show us." And half of the internet was like, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
That's what I said. Yeah, they're so weird. How do you have no sense of self that you go out there and say that out loud and not expect that to be the response? Yeah, I mean, my God. Well, that brings us pretty much to a close. We covered a lot in a short period of time. Every day brings a new shit show. Like clowns, expect a circus. But I appreciate everybody in the chat, even the trolls. Hi. Enjoy that new bottle of Lubriderm you got down there in Mommy's basement. It's good to see you as always, Brooklyn.
Same here.
We'll see you next week. Same time, same bat channel. See you, everybody. Bye.